The Indian Rebellion of 1857 was a major uprising in India in 1857 to 58 against the rule of the British East India Company, which functioned as a sovereign power on behalf of the British Crown. On December 28, 1885, the Indian National Congress was founded at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College in Bombay, with 72 delegates in attendance. The Salt March, also known as the Salt Satyagraha, Dandi March, and the Dandi Satyagraha, was an act of nonviolent civil disobedience in colonial India, led by Mahatma Gandhi. The Salt Satyagraha campaign was based upon Gandhi's principles of nonviolent protest called Satyagraha, which he loosely translated as truth force. The 24-day march lasted from March 12th to April 5th, 1930, as a direct action campaign of tax resistance and nonviolent protest against the British salt monopoly. Gandhi started this march with 78 of his trusted volunteers. The march spanned 387 kilometers from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, which was called Navsari at that time. In early 1920, the Indian National Congress chose Satyagraha as their main tactic for winning Indian sovereignty and self-rule from British rule and appointed Gandhi to organize the campaign. The Indian Army, also called the British Indian Army, was involved in World War I as part of the British Empire. In World War I, the Indian Army fought against the German Empire on the Western Front. India, as a part of the Allied nations, sent over 2.5 million soldiers to fight under British command against the Axis powers. Indians fought with distinction throughout the world, including in the European theater against Germany, North African campaign against fascist Italy, and in the Southeast Asian theater. While also defending the Indian subcontinent against the Japanese forces, including British Burma and the Crown Colony of Ceylon. The Quit India movement was a movement launched at the Bombay session of the All India Congress Committee by Mahatma Gandhi on August 9, 1942, during World War II, demanding an end to British rule in India. After the British failed to secure Indian support for the British war effort with Cripps mission, Gandhi made a call to do or die in his Quit India movement delivered in Bombay on August 9, 1942 at the Gawalia Tank Maidan. The movement included boycott of the British government and rejection of transactions involving the government. Various violent incidents took place around the country against the British regime. The British arrested tens of thousands of leaders, keeping them imprisoned until 1945. Ultimately, the British government realized that India was ungovernable in the long run, and the question for the post-war era became how to exit gracefully and peacefully.
The midnight of August 14, 1947, symbolized the rebirth of a nation after the slumber of centuries and a long struggle for self-determination. The Constituent Assembly paid a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, the architect of Indian freedom, and assumed power for the governance of India. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister, said with moving eloquence,
"Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom."
On August 15th, the appointed day, people gathered to welcome the dawn of a new age and witness the peaceful transfer of power. Lord Mountbatten became the first Governor-General of the Dominion by the will of the sovereign people of India. After hoisting the national flag, the first servant of the Indian people addressed from the ramparts of the Red Fort the 500,000 gathered below. On this day, our first thoughts go to the father of our nation, who held aloft the torch of freedom and lighted up the darkness that surrounded us.